Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a lightning review of Roads of Fortune, which is an expansion for Foundations of Rome. It's still for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, takes about 60 minutes to play. Hopefully you had a chance to check out our how to play and playthrough. So first we'll give an overview, and then we will discuss these categories, and then we will give our rating. So what you see right here is how we left the game at the end of the how to play and playthrough, and Julie really defeated me there. So I'm red and she's blue. And you're going to have these road tiles that you can put down. And you'll put one in the north, the east, south, and west. You can randomize it or pick it, and they're front and back. These are the ones that you can play with the population tokens. You'll see here there's a little bit of text here, and it will tell you if you need to play with one of the expansions. So this expansion does come with population tokens. The goal of the game is still the same. Score the most points. The roads allow you to score more points. Now there are 4 here that go for the solo version. This one here we didn't even put in the mix because we weren't playing with the player roles expansion that comes with the base game or the invocations. And so you'll see some of these they'll tell you on the back side, or one of the sides, if you need to play with the monuments or play with trading or monuments, for instance. So keep in mind that you're going to play with certain sides. You're going to put out 4 randomly. It comes with 2 achievement markers here. I think there's a different name for it.
I don't remember. I think that's what you called it, though.
And you'll see that we had a lot marker here for this one. So you may have to use a lot marker to score these, which is part of the strategy in the game, that if you have 3 or 4 roads where you need to be in competition to score them, you have 2 of these markers, but you may have to use a lot marker, and if you don't have any available, you cannot score it, and you'll get them back after each era. So these score at the end of an era, before there is population scoring, civic building scoring, and commercial building scoring. And if you want to know where it says that, because I missed that when I first read it, it's a heading right here on the gameplay example. Usually you see that. I'll talk about that when I go over the rules. So it's right up here in the heading, is where you find what order you score in. So how do you score these? Well, first off, in the setup, you're going to get your 6 lot markers in a 2-player game in the 5x5 area here. You're not going to be able to get any lot markers at the beginning of the game on the edges, whether it's a 2-player game, 3-player game, or 4-player game. So you could either remove the cards and deal out the 6, so you don't, or they say in the rule book, you just deal out the 6 cards each player, and if they get one of the lot markers on the edge, you just put it back into the discard pile and draw a new card. So you're not going to start on the edges at all, because you want to get buildings next to these roads. So this road, this one and this one, you want to compete for size of buildings. This one is number of buildings. So I'm going to rotate this the other way. You are supposed to start with the north one here, but since this is on this camera here, we're going to start with the west one. It says here, players with the most buildings gain population equal to the current era. So if this is the 3rd era here, you're going to get 3 plus 3 population. Players with the largest buildings gain victory points equal to the current era. So you can get 3 victory points. So here you have, if we're counting buildings, Julie has 2 and I have 2. Well, how do you break ties? Well, whoever has a building in the lowest number or lowest letter. So here it's A. Everything on this row is A, so then you have to look at number. So Julie would break ties. So she's going to get 3 population markers, and you would keep track of it with here. They come with these markers here. There's a 1 and a 2 side like that. So she'd get 3 population markers in case you have to go back and count. And then who scores for largest buildings? Well, we're both tied tied for a size 3 building. Again, who breaks the tie? Julie has A3.
A1.
In terms of largest buildings, it's A3 versus A6.
Oh, I see.
So she would beat me in the tie again and get 3 more victory points.
Look at that.
So that was how that's how you score buildings based on number. Now, if we want to, now this is being based on size. So I have a 1, 2, 3. I have 2 buildings that, when you look at the size of them, adds up to 3. Julie has 4, 5. So she would get first choice. So she would put her marker here. She can get 1 population marker, 2 coin. At the end of the game, it isn't really going to matter. Or 1 victory point, or 3 victory points. In a 2-player game, there's more choices. If there's 3 or higher, someone's going to miss out. So Julie would probably take this one unless she's trying to beat me for population score. So say she takes this one and gets 1 population, then I might take the 3 victory points. Now we go to this edge. This one here is pretty interesting. And either you take, if you put your marker here, you either take this reward or this reward. If you put your marker here, you either take this reward or this reward. Here, you get 3 victory points. So you swap any 2 lot markers. If you watch How to Play and Playthrough, I did that twice. And then swap one of your buildings with one from your board of the same size. So for instance, if you want to switch out a population building for a commercial building, that's where you can do that. Or you can take 2 victory points, or here you can take 1 victory point. So let's see how this scores. Here I have 1 plus 4, 5. So I have 2 buildings that are size 5 total. The lot marker doesn't count. Julie has 2, 3. So 5 beats a 3. So I would go first. Say I don't want to switch anything out, I just take 3 victory points. And Julie, say she doesn't want to switch anything out, she takes 2 victory points. Now we go to here. At the end of the game, we're going to have lot markers left, but maybe not in the era 1 or 2. So this is pretty simple. You take the first player marker. You're not going to do that in era 3, or 1 victory point, or all players give you 2 silver, or you get 2 victory points. In a 2-player game, you're not going to take that, especially not in era 3, but maybe in era 1 or 2, especially when you're playing with 4 or 5 players, you can get a lot of money. And then you get 3 victory points. So here we have to use lot markers. So we're counting size of buildings again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or is that a 3? Yeah, 7 versus Julie's 2. So I did beat her here. I think I'll take the 3 victory points, and Julie would use her lot marker, and she goes, I don't care about getting money either on era 3, I'll take 2 victory points. So you are going to score these roads strategically, depending on what era it is and what your goals are, if you're trying to go for victory points or try to go up in the population track here to get that bonus population. The only other thing that it comes with, is, like I said, is the boards for the single player. Oh, and it has a sticker sheet.
Oh,
sorry.
You're okay.
It does have a sticker sheet in here. It did not come with 4 reference cards that it was supposed to come with. It does come with some replacement cards to clarify some cards in the base game. So let me, oh, you know what? I don't have it here.
Oh.
Oh, I should point out that, here, let me, something else about the expansion here. I guess, oh, here's the sticker sheet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What you do is the organizer that this expansion comes with, you replace it with the original organizer, so you have the achievement markers here. I think they are called something else, but they're to keep track of your road. And then here's the sticker sheet that it comes with. Okay, I'll go over a little bit of that more in a minute here. And we are playing with the player mat, which pops really well here. But the player mat does not include the text. There's error boxes right here off to the side. It does not include the text that it goes 4, 7, and 10. You have to look in the rule book to remember, unless it's on the reference card that it didn't ship with. All right, so let's talk about our criteria here, and then we'll give our rating.
Okay.
And again, if you want to see how these roads came into play and how Julie got 100 And 15 points to my 104. She really did kick my butt on this game. Watched a How to Play and playthrough. All right, so is it fun?
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
I really like it. I like that addition with the roads. It's just, yeah, it's fun.
Now, it does change up what you focus on, because when you watch us playing it, you're going to see us trying to, one, get these corners, because these corners do count for both roads, and messing with each other to block each other from getting larger buildings in there. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to let you get that one, because that means you can put a 3 building there, or a,
Right.
you know. So it does change the strategy a little bit. Now, we thought it would be too crowded in that 5x5 area, but it did work out.
By the way, speaking of that, I think that was a 3 building when you were doing the score, not a 4. You said that was a 4, I think.
Well, you still had
I still had 4 points.
4 versus 3. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, a building can be facing this way, and it still counts as a 3.
Yeah.
So it can be long ways like this. The whole building does not have to be on the edge. I should clarify that, because that's why I was able to count this one spot here. And notice I counted this building for these 2 roads, this building for these 2 roads, this building for that one, and this one for that one. All right, so it is fun.
Yeah.
We probably will. I don't know if we'll always play with this expansion, only because there's other expansions to play with, and maybe sometimes we don't want to focus on the edges, but we are enjoying it. It's definitely a worthwhile option.
I agree.
So the theme, it does fit the theme that all roads lead to Rome, as they would say. And we're simulating that buildings that are next to the road are going to get more business, have more commerce.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Than roads that, you know, when you go into a city, there's a reason why gas stations and pit stops are, people stop by before they go right into the city, right? So the theme fits, especially for the historical part of all roads lead to Rome. The art is decent.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you know, inspire. Like, oh my gosh, I really want to play this game because of this art.
Oh,
but
it's nice.
It's pleasant. Okay. It's solid.
I like on the mat, they put like little people.
Well, we're not
in
evaluating
arena.
the mat,
oh.
though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the mat
Isn't
does
that
not.
art?
Yeah, but the mat doesn't come with this.
Oh, okay.
So remember, we're only evaluating this.
Oh,
We had to
gotcha.
pay separately for the mat.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm glad you said that, because some people might think the mat comes with the game. Components is what you expect. This is nice. The plastic is what you get with the other plastic that comes with the base game. So it's solid. The markers are the same cardboard thickness as the other components. So, I mean, this could be thicker. Too bad they didn't give you an opportunity to upgrade these to go with, you know, coins, maybe that population. So they haven't had an opportunity to do that yet, where you can buy upgraded pieces for that. This first player marker is also separate. It does not come with the game.
It's really cool, though.
Yeah, it is very cool. And the boards, about the same thickness as the coins. Actually, maybe a little
No, they're
thicker.
a little bit thicker.
Yeah, a little bit thicker. And they're not warping, so they're good.
Yep.
Then we have complexity. The roads don't add that much,
No.
other than you might have to figure out what they mean by the scoring. But if you've been playing with the other expansions, this is not going to be any more complex than the other expansions. It's fine. So it's the right kind of expansion where you don't mind adding it. It's not gonna drag down the game. Like I said, what's nice about it is that it does force you to play a little bit differently if you're tired of the same thing. Going for the edges adds to the gameplay if you want to play a different way. Just like the objectives make it a different way to play. Playing time, other than setup, doesn't add much more.
No.
Maybe a couple minutes, that's about it. Age and audience, as I've said before, the age of 14 and up is done for regulation purposes, so they don't have to do product testing. You could play this with an 8, 7, or 6-year-old. However, if you are playing with someone that young, if they're not an independent reader, they're going to need help understanding this text.
Yeah.
So you just tell them, do you want to do this, this, or that? I mean, they're going to understand the numbers. This is whether or not they understand, like, for instance, this board here, when it has that much text. Design and mechanics, it's solid. So this will be an expansion that we'll probably play with more than the other ones.
I think so.
Remember, there's a cooperative version. There's the objectives. We haven't done the trading one yet.
No.
But we would have to try this with the other ones to see how much does it get too much going on. We haven't tried that yet. Learning the rules. So this is unfortunately a disappointment. Arcane Wonders has staff. They have full-time staff. So I don't get why this happens.
Oh.
When you're about ready to submit files to a printer, you do all hands on deck. Okay, when you get the proofs back, all hands on deck. If you have 3, 4, 5 people working for you, you say, all right, everybody's going to take an hour or 2 hours today, look at the proofs, see what you notice. In fact, you should look at it before you send it to the printer, because what's going to happen is when you notice mistakes, then you're going to have to resend it to them and get the proofs back in. It delays you. So what they should have done, they should have done this step before they sent the proofs. So there's mistakes here. Some of it is going to cost them money.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Well, first off, when you look at the rule book, okay, it goes over it fine here. But they commit, based on my dissertation research and document design and feedback from BGG users, you don't put rules in examples. We don't like that. And if you're going to do examples, make sure there's no errors in it. So there's a couple examples here where the picture doesn't match the text, or the text doesn't match the picture. But the big thing here is you put how error scoring happens as a heading in an example section. Again, it's just not smart. And like I said, you have errors in the examples, but that's not what's going to cost them the most money. What's going to cost them money is the fact that they didn't include 4 reference cards that were supposed to come with it.
Oh.
So we can't evaluate that. And the sticker sheet, it's nice that we can put this to help find where we put our wonders. There's errors on the sticker sheet.
Oh, gosh.
So how would you have solved that before you went to press? Well, you print it out and you cut it out and you put it in there.
My
This is what we used to do when we were, we would make mock-ups.
Yeah.
And said, is this going to work? So all you had to do is have each person in your company look at the rule book, or you have thousands of Kickstarters that would have told you there's errors with your example, and I can't figure out how error scoring is. You should move this to somewhere else. You could have gotten free feedback.
Wow.
You have paid staff. You could have figured this out, because now he's trying to figure out, can I print out that part as stickers as replacement, plus the 4 reference cards. He's going to mail the reference cards anyway.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so think about that, the expense of mailing it out to 3,000 people, or how many people it is, okay?
Yeah.
And reprinting that portion of the sticker sheet when you have paid staff that could have done it. I said, I don't get it. And this shipped late.
Oh.
Now, I know they were focusing on their new releases. This is a new release too. So it's just, I don't get it. This happens all the time in the industry. You have people, your fans, that will look at it for you for free if it's an expense issue. That's just someone that drops the ball. So that will impact my rating. Now, educational merit, this is a great game to develop math skills, logical thinking skills, and you could tie it in to enrichment for if you're going to talk about Rome. Other than that, you're not going to get much historical. I mean, you could talk about buildings, I guess you want to talk about architecture, but really it's more math and enrichment if you have a child that's interested in Rome and Greek architecture and things like that. So let's talk about our rating. So what do you rate it?
I would definitely rate this an 8.
8, very good, would suggest it.
Yeah.
And I would say it's an 8 as well, only because we haven't played it as much yet. It could go to a 9 or 10 over time. We will play with this expansion over other expansions, because like I said, I do like how it changes things up here.
Yeah, it's fun. It's more of like it makes it even a more intense race type feel.
Well, you're right. It adds a race feel, because we're competing for those corners, and you get the edges. In the meantime, you're trying to, the reason why Julie kicked my butt so much is that she got this commercial scoring, 2 points for every commercial building nearby, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, well, not building, but the coins, 4, 6, 7, 8. She was getting 16 points for that one. No, this one didn't count. So that corner. But the point is, you can focus so much on the edges that you forget to do your
inside stuff.
what are those buildings called again?
Commercial?
Your civic buildings.
Civic.
Yeah. All right. So if you're into Foundations of Rome, this is a must-have expansion, despite the errors.
Yep.
Because it needs. I wonder how they're going to handle the retail copies that have problems in it.
Oh, so this is going to retail too?
I don't know. This was shipped to Kickstarter, so he has everybody's address for that.
Okay.
But what if this is in retail stores? How are you going to get those? So if you
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh my God, that makes my brain hurt thinking about how you'd be able to do
So
that.
caution if you're getting the retail copy. How are you going to get the missing reference cards?
Maybe go to the website and request
maybe.
it.
So keep that in mind. I don't know if this is in retail yet, but I know there are some retailers that buy Kickstarters, and what would happen is you would get it from that retailer, and then you might not even. How are you going to get the replacement pieces? I don't know.
I would think maybe contact the store, unless it's a big box store, then you can't do that.
It wouldn't be a big box. No, it would be a small retailer. So caution. There's issues, missing things in here. If you get this on retail, if you're a backer, you will get your missing pieces. Hopefully, if they do come out with this on retail, they fix it.
I'm sure they
for
will
those retail
before.
copies.
I hope they will beforehand.
All right, thanks for watching.
Thanks so much, you guys. We hope you had fun, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.